I'm dancing into the show. Hi, everyone. It's good to see you. I've got a Lalit's here in the house. And also I walked too close to my bird cage while coming in. I went to just give her a kiss and she climbed right on. She's right here, but I have a green screen. She's on my shoulder. She says, don't bug me. So if you see something wiggling on my shoulder, it's that. I've got a couple of things I'd like to say before we get started. But first, Bora 333, you, first one in the room, thank you so much. I've got Charlie. We've got Dennis. Hello, Dennis. Nice to see you. Coach Ellen is here. Karen Doriel. I love this cute bird. Her name is Mandy. She had an accident 10 years ago. She's like 25 or 30 now. And she has no eyes. And so she is very dependent, but boy, is she independent for a bird. I've learned a lot from her. She's my spirit animal. The things I want to talk to you about is, number one, we're not going to say anything about the royal family tonight. I am going to send prayers to the UK and for my friend Hogarth Astrology, who is very close to the crown. So we need to say a prayer for that. Who else? Oh, and we're not going to address what happened in Russia with the ISIS and all that stuff. This is all about you and how you can navigate the situation. I do have an announcement to make. Today, I demonetized my channel because I don't want anybody to have to go through ads to see my stuff. So I am completely supported by the people who are on this channel, and how you can support me is to, of course, like and subscribe and share and comment. All of those really, really help. And super stickers and those sticker things really help. I also have, you could book a session. That would help. And Venmo, PayPal in the show links down below is a little link there. I feel weird mentioning it, but it's the times are. I went over to a friend's house, and she wanted to show me something on my video, and so she turned her phone on, and there was this really awful commercial on it that doesn't have anything to do with me or what I do or light work. So I took it off. And it's just you guys and me now. But as mentioned before, this is all about you and how to navigate this upcoming eclipse. So I am going to move out of the way and let my sweet Lalit answer all your questions.
Hi, everybody. We're going to have some fun tonight. I hope my voice isn't too scratchy. I've been under the weather this week, and that's part of my excuse for not sending you all your eclipse stuff. I have everybody on the list, and I will have it to you by everything you're going to get by tomorrow morning, all your charts and your eclipse stuff and all that stuff. Today, we're going to talk more about the lunar eclipse that we are having on Monday. Just a little bit of a recap, but we're going to also use that information to show you how many of those details will be also viable. They're doing double duty for the big solar eclipse that's happening in April. So we're going to lead into the solar eclipse and what that might mean for you. And we're going to do it in a fun way. And I have a contest today. It's a fun contest that you're going to enter it on the chat by making a guess, what you think your best guess is of a question I'm going to ask you relating to the material we're talking about. So I'm going to ask you a question, and you're going to give me an answer 1 through 12. And the first person who gets the right answer wins a free mini reading with me. Yay! It's going to be fun, though. No stress in this one. It's not a hard thing. So have your fingers fast on the keys. So you can enter your number, and if you just don't have a clue, you can enter any number 1 through 12, and maybe you'll get through first and have the right answer. Who knows? But so we're giving away a contest in a few minutes. So that'll be toward the end of my little presentation here. So let's just go for it. And I had some technical problems today. Let's hope all of my stuff is properly set up. I hope so. Anyhow, we taught just a quick recap. The lunar eclipse this eclipse we're going through we're already feeling it, and it will continue to be felt for a couple of weeks after the eclipse, and it will lead us straight into the solar eclipse. That's the big one, and this is like the big astrological event of the year. It is humongous, and a lot of the things we're learning about the lunar eclipse will also be true, because all the big planets are going to be in the same place. So it's very important information that's true, that will be important for the rest of your life, because an eclipse is a transformational time, a time of change. And change is not always easy. In transformational changes of the long-lasting sort, your personal and your life path destiny is involved in the decisions that you're going to be making now. So really evaluate the situation deeply so you take the right path. There's a stupid little quote by someone named that, if you're much younger than me, you might not know who that is. Yogi Berra was a baseball player for the Yankees. Yes, the cartoon character Yogi Berra was named after him. He was kind of goofy, not bright, but he would say things that were so profound but weird. And he had a saying, one of those was, when you get to the fork in the road, take it. So if you be careful when you follow Yogi Berra's advice, because which way you do that is really important. So pay attention to the road signs. We're going to be doing some deep diving, and with this astrology is the clue to help you understand what you're looking at. And we're going to have some fun examples today from real life charts and from some of you. So let's just talk about the eclipse. I'm going to put up on screen the details so you see clearly what it is. March 25th, here it is, 8 a.m. in London, 3 a.m. Eastern, 12 a.m. midnight, 7 p.m. Sydney time. Karina, that's for you. Took me a real while scratching my head trying to figure that out. Now, you'll hear this word. You'll hear people say it's a penumbral eclipse. A penumbral eclipse. I have a diagram for you, but the moon is in the shadow of the earth, but not the darkest part of the shadow. It is in the faint outer part of the shadow. Umbra is Latin for shadow, and penumbra is the hazy part of a shadow. Now let me show you on a picture of the relationship between the earth, the moon, and the sun, so you can see how that works. That should be chart number 11. Here should be this one here. So this is a little diagram of, and it's little cattywampus, excuse me, I have to pull it down. This is the yellow dot, the yellow thing is the sun. And we'll make it a little bit bigger for you. So the sun is the yellow image that you see there. And the purple thing is the earth. And let me make some little color marks here. So the little cone, the earth is looking like an ice cream cone, with the purple being the actual globe of the earth, the scoop of ice cream, and that little pointy thing that sticks out the back looking like an ice cream cone, a waffle cone, is the dark part of the shadow. That would be the umbra. For it to be a total lunar eclipse, the moon has to enter in this dark part, which I'm going to mark with green here. The moon has to be there. This eclipse, the moon does not ever enter that dark part. Now, here's the orbit of the moon, this little circle here. The moon is going to pass like under or above that dark part. It's only going to stay in the penumbra part. So it's not going to be a real dark shadow covering everything. So that's, so it's a little bit, it's kind of like a partial eclipse in a way. But that when you hear the word penumbra, that's what they're talking about. And so now you're smart. You know, it's the umbra is the main part of the shadow, but we're in the fadey outer part of the shadow. You know, sometimes if you're walking down the street and you see your shadow on the ground, you may notice the outline of your shadow is not a real sharp thing, but it gets a little hazy toward the edge. So the moon will be in that hazy part of the shadow. And so the weird thing, if you think about the cosmic relationship between the sun, the moon, and the earth is so strange. It could not, the odds against it being this way is phenomenal, because when we're looking from the earth's point of view and we see the shape of the sun, it's a certain size little disk up in the sky, but we know that it's really huge and really far away. When we look at the moon, it's the same shape, and it's actually the same exact size in relation to us, because it's proportionally close enough so that we can have that. And the fact that they are perfectly the same shape and size, what's the chance of that happening? Another, like Yogi Berra personality, Homer Simpson, said, that's coinkydink. Well, coinkydink, is just isn't going to account for how strange that is. The mathematical odds of that are impossible. It's infinitely impossible that it would be exactly the same shape and the same size to cover, so that we can have a perfect total eclipse of the sun, or we could have a perfect total eclipse of the moon. That could not happen if they weren't exactly the right size and exactly in the right place. And this is an amazing thing. And it's a really great, when you meditate upon that, you say, it cannot be accidental. It's such an unusual effect. Anyway, you know that the moon is going to be in 5 degrees of Libra. We talked about Libra. The 7th house is relationships in your life, all relationships that are important, and could be personal relationship, business relationship, partnership, people that are important to you. And that's where the moon is, in Libra. So that's the focal point of the eclipse. But it has the opposite teeter-totter side in Aries, and that's it activates your self-value. You're doing self-evaluation of your what is your purpose, what is your destiny, what is your identity, and how do you relate to other people. And everyone is going to be having this kind of a crisis. Some of us more than others. And for some people, you have it not in the house of Aries or in the house of Libra, but somewhere else in your horoscope, touching off something else. So I'm going to show you how to find that in your chart. And I will be sending everyone that has requested for the eclipse information, especially eclipse chart, but you won't really need to get that if you follow along today. So you will see the manifestation of this eclipse in the area of life where the moon is, in Libra. So where do you have Libra? On the outside of your 5 degrees of Libra. What house is that in? And I'm going to show you how to find that. If you're a total novice, we'll have like 3 examples of charts. And that's the secret, the house position. So I'm going to show you a chart of a lady who's in this group, and I'm not going to mention her name because she hasn't yet given me permission, because I just asked her today. But here's her chart. Excuse me. She was born in Canada. So I'm going to draw a little bit of colors on the chart. The ascendant on everyone's chart is in the same spot. So you can look over here to see what degree you have on your ascendant. And the chart that I send you does have a list. And it would say at the top of 23 degrees of Taurus in 18 minutes. So if you were looking to find a transit that is a daily planetary position, and the transit was in 10 degrees of Taurus, where would you put that? Would you put it in the first house? No, because you have to pay attention to the number on the cusp. The cusp is that little line that you see that divides. This is the cusp. And there are 12 cusps, and each one is on a particular degree. This one says 23 degrees. So since the zodiac moves in this direction, this is the direction the numbers go up. So if this is 23 degrees of Taurus, you keep moving down the degrees, 24, 25, 26, 27. If it were 28 degrees of Taurus, it would be right around there. If it went ahead and it was something in Gemini, well, Gemini on this horoscope has 18 on this cusp. So this says 18, so it'd have to be bigger than 18. I'm sorry, that's so messy. I tried to get this done ahead of time for you, and I just had technical problems and I couldn't. But so the point is, this is Gemini, you see written on the list there. On the side of the chart, it says 18 degrees in a small number. I'm circling it. Can you guys see it? Can you see that 18? Is it big enough for you to see? Maybe not if you're looking on your phone.
I put you on big screen, so okay. They're seeing it really good, I think.
18? Okay. So if you're looking at your phone, you may have to go to a computer to see that there's a number 18 on the outside of the wheel. That is the exact degree that's on this line. So if it's less than 18, it will be in the first house. If it's more than 18, it'll be in the second house. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? So if you're wondering about Libra, because you're all looking for Libra in your horoscope, so look around the outside of the rim and find the shape of the glyph of Libra. Now this has an Aries glyph, the ram. Well, you're getting closer because you know it's 180 degrees away. So look straight across, and yep, there it is, Libra, and it's way down at the bottom of the screen. I can zoom out, and it's a Libra, and it says 12 degrees of Libra. So this cusp of this line, which is here, is 12 degrees of Libra. Excuse me, it says 12 minutes. I'm sorry, I made a mistake because I can't see the whole thing. Let me zoom out. It's actually 12 minutes, 0 degrees and 12 minutes. It's right at the bottom. I've made it too small to see, like an idiot. Okay, the reason I did that was I have not asked this lady's permission, and therefore I wanted to make it so that nobody could see the name. And so I moved it over so nobody could see the name. And let me just go a little bit. It actually says 0 down here. I saw the 12 because it was off my screen. 0 degrees of Libra and 12 minutes. So 0 degrees and 12 minutes is what she's got. I couldn't see that 0 at all. It was totally out of range. So it's 0 degrees. So it was my mistake for trying to get this person's name off the screen. So 0 degrees of Libra is her cusp. So anything in Libra is going to be in this house, number 6. Libra is this whole 6th house area. So her eclipse, the moon will be seated in the 6th house. So what is the 6th house? I'm so glad you asked. So I'm sending everybody who's got a chart. Everyone who asks me for a chart will get the houses, the little 2 handouts, and I will clearly tell you which house your moon is in the eclipse so that you'll know. But this is one house set will look like this. Aries is where the main bunch of planets are located, and Libra is where the moon is. So let's just look at Aries for a minute because it's one of the main ones, and that is your sense of self. That's one keyword. to help you tie it all together. But here's the more detailed one. Your sense of self, the personality, the lens through which the rest of the chart is focused, your physical body, and your early childhood. Those are all Aries type things. So those will all be related to this big eclipse, which has all the major planets, so many in Aries. This is important for everybody. So everybody will have a focus of that, balancing it with your sense of partnership. How do you relate to other people? So those two things you're trying to balance. That's the crux of this entire eclipse. Now, to narrow it down to some areas of your own life that it's going to be focused through, you see where is Libra for you. This lady that we were just looking at, it had it in the 6th house. The 6th house is work and health. You see it over here, number 6, work and health. So this is an indication of especially the kind of work like a nurse, for example. This is work that's hard, not so much a career like if you're a CEO, but the drudgery kind of work, the hard work that you do, your chores in life, and everything relating to your health. And it relates to, let's say, caring for other people also if you're a caregiver. So here's the work and health, number 6 house, work and health. It has, I put the sun on the outside because it's ruled by the sun in your natal chart. Leo is the ruler of that sign if it's a solar chart. But for the eclipse that we're looking at, I'm going to erase that sun so you're not confused about that. This is the 6th house, work and health, service to others. That could be you have to take care of your elderly parents or your jobs and duties, practical responsibilities, your daily routine, daily work, pets and small animals. Debra knows all about that. And sickness and health. So the lady that we were just talking about in our class has the moon in at the time of the eclipse, not at the time of her birth, but at the time of the eclipse, it's in this house. So she's heavily burdened by problems with like responsibilities, feeling a lot of weight on her shoulders. She's feeling herself to be, you know how the Atlas had the whole world on his shoulders? When you're feeling that heavy pressure of lots of responsibility, that would be what this person, the crisis of this eclipse for this person in our group. And so that is being, it's opposite, it's going to be opposite to, let's look at the house that's opposite to us. That's Debra. We're going to look at Debra in a minute. I'm sorry. I had a technical glitch before getting started today, and now I'm having trouble moving my little thing down here. Okay. So let's look at the opposite of the 6th house. We have the subconscious mind, the 12th. So the 12th house is opposite this one. So this is your spiritual side, your depth, your inner depth. It could be a sense of sacrifice. So you could be feeling just sacrificing yourself to other people and you're losing your own identity. You could feel that. Or if you're a very spiritual person, you may feel such a need to help take care of the other people you need to take care of, that you might not see it as a burden, but as a spiritual transformation, a karmic duty sort of thing. But the 12th house is karmic liabilities. So you may feel, maybe you have a child with autism and you're wondering why this happened. And it could be relating to a karmic incident. You undoubtedly have a karmic situation with this person. And you're doing sacrificial service, and in terms of your spirituality, it'll help. Also, your mediumship, drugs, feeling of imprisonment, and the underworld are also 12th house things. So The person who has the moon in the sixth is feeling tired of working very hard, a big sense of responsibility, but has a big sense of duty. So this is something for you to weigh in your mind. And also when you're looking at your own eclipse, the house that the moon is in is the predominant thing, and then the house opposite is showing what you're trying to balance. It's the struggle between your own identity and the other people, and how to make it healthy for everybody, and a good situation. So that's how you will see each person has a different thing, and you will also have different planets touching transits. And I'm sending you the transit chart that will show your transits on the day of the eclipse and the whole month, a few days before the eclipse, all the way into 2 weeks after the solar eclipse. So you'll see all the transits. Let's look for a minute at Debra. Debra has a weird situation in her chart because she's born in Alaska in January. And this is an unusual chart that I wanted to show you in case nobody has one this extreme, because I've never seen one this extreme myself. And when I saw this, I went, oh my goodness, because being born so far north, the further away you get from the equator, the more that the houses have to compensate for that problem that, there's long days in the summer or short nights in the summer, and it compensates for that. So if you're born in Alaska in January, you're going to have 2 houses really big. And Debra has the first house really big. We're just discussing houses now because we're talking about how everyone's going to look at her own chart. This first house starts with Aquarius, has all of Pisces, all of Aries, and the beginning of Taurus, all in her first house. That's a 90-degree swath of the sky, because she's so far near the polar region that the sky is distorted and it shows the stars in different ways. So her first house, when you see the planets of the eclipse, you will see the moon in Libra way over here. There's Libra, part of the 7th house. It's in its natural spot. And all the other planets that go from Pisces to Aries, there are, 10 things in a row here that are all in the first house. So it's an extreme situation for her, because the first house and the 7th house are cardinal points, and they have more power in your horoscope than other charts. So she's going to feel it stronger because it's the ascendant descendant axis of her natal horoscope. So it's really profound. So let's send Debra some love and light, because this is a difficult time for anyone to have 2 eclipses in a row in this spot, because the solar eclipse is also going to be in Aries, first house. So anybody with this kind of an indication needs some love and light, everybody. So send it on over to Debra. Now, I think for purposes of time, I'm not going to go through the other houses, because you can do it by yourself. You'll see number 2 is Taurus, and then you look over to here and you'll see, Taurus has all of these things: possessions, money, organization, property, abundance, basic security, your desire to accumulate resources. So it's mainly about money, and it's the money house. Okay. And then we're going around here. This is the partnership house, house number 7. We're going to see that the partnership house is right here. And if we go 1 over from partnerships, like we go from, when we go from Aries to Taurus, we're going 1 ahead. Your personal money, yourself money. Here's relationships, count 1 house over. And the 8th house is,
I don't know if we can see it all. Maybe let me readjust.
Well, that's all that I want to show. We're not going to show any more of that. The partnership house is, this is your partnerships, and 1 over is your partner's money. So those, and money that belongs to other people. like your mortgage broker really owns your house because they own the money. Loans that you have out, any indebtedness that you have, or inheritance money that's coming from other people or owed by other people, is that 8th house matter. So I think that you'll have these two charts at home to compare, to look at, and so that you can look at them at length when you know where your moon is, where is Libra in your chart. Look at that house and see where you need to be surveying the situation. And so you're going to have that in hand to be able to do that. And I'll scroll it down a little bit so everybody can see it for a moment. If you don't get the handout and you want to just freeze the tape for a little minute, these are the houses in order. On the upper part, the house 7 and 8. So we'll say here's 7, and I'll mark it green. And there's 8, and there's 9, and there's 10, 11, and 12. And I really wrote them out in this way because you need to see it on the wheel. So in your subconscious mind, you place it on the wheel, not as a list up and down where you're not relating it to the physical space of your chart. You need to see all this on the wheel. So you'll have these, one with just a single word to remind you of the main idea, and then all the little details of all the different things. And you can go over this with your own chart. Now we're going to look at, now it's going to come time for our contest. So I just want to mention that the idea of the relationships and other people, 1st and 7th house, is true for everyone because it's in Aries and Libra, and that's true for every person on the face of the earth. So that thing we talked about, how relationships versus the individual is important, is for everyone. But you get the particulars in your life according to house position. So the contest is coming up. So you're going to think about that. And so I have a question for you. You're going to make a guess. All right. So let's see. If you were to guess, we're going to think about a person we all know. We're going to think about Donald Trump. And we're going to guess, knowing these house positions, and I'll put this up on the screen so you can see them. And I'm going to make it smaller and take off all of the little colors and everything. So you can look at this to guess, to get your idea for the contest. We're going to think, what house do you think his eclipse is going to hit him in? So if you have your phone out, you're going to enter a number 1 to 12. What house do you think Donald Trump is experiencing this eclipse? So just enter a number 1 to 12 in the chat.
I've got Coach Ellen. She's in a 7. We've got Karina. Oh no, Coach Ellen is 10.
Okay.
Karina is.
Well, so we have some answers. Have you all had time yet? Or are you going, oh, not yet? We're going to count. We're going to count a few more seconds. Do you think we got a winner yet?
Well, I don't know. Depends on what the answer is.
Are you guys, have you had enough time? And if you really can't guess it, we're going to go, we're going to go, dum, bum, 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 bum.
Now that's going to stick in your head.
Time's up. Okay, here's a hint. Money, 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 money.
Money.
Remember that theme that he had for the Apprentice?
What number is it?
Okay, here, I'm going to show you his chart. It's really, I mean, it's just amazing And so now you see this astrology in practice here. This is Donald Trump. And we've got let me mark it up so that you can see the color. I'm sorry, I really wanted to be better prepared for this, but I got in the okay. So look down here. Neptune is in Libra. Chiron is in Libra, the healer. This is where he's sick. Neptune is in Libra. You know that it's in Libra because on this cusp is 21 Libra. Anything less than 21 Libra, see it says 21 Libra right on this cusp. Anything under 21 degrees of Libra is in this house here, Libra. And it's written on next to the planet. It says Neptune, 5 degrees of Libra. Do you know what the eclipse is happening in? 5 degrees of Libra. It's a south node eclipse. Okay, this is huge. This is really important. I'm going to show my face, then we'll look at it again in a minute. Every eclipse has to happen with the moon and the sun on one of the nodes, the north node and the south node. And though they represent the time as we see it on the earth plane in our incarnations, the past to the present, the south node being the past and the north node being the present, the future of things, where things are going. So south node is often seen as the karmic responsibility problems. And with the moon on the south node in Libra, people are getting a lot of past or karmic relationship problems. And it might be with what you consider to be even more important than money, which is, more important than people, which is money. So in this case, we have Neptune being the planet of deception regarding money. This would be, Peachy Barnum said there's a sucker born every minute. This is Donald Trump's attitude. He is deceptive regarding his money. And the eclipse is happening exactly in that place, in the second house where you have Neptune. And Neptune and Jupiter together is the classic astrological thing that there might be some form of deception. And you have a lot of good luck too with Jupiter. You make a lot of money while you're making it, but it's showing a sickness with Chiron right in the middle and Neptune on the side. So it's in tarot cards that might be seen as what is that, Deborah? 7 of Cups with the little baubles up in the sky. You see things that are not really real. Is that 7 of Cups? Okay, so the sparkly baubles and things that are not really real that you say, oh, I want one of those. That looks good. I want that. I need me a gold toilet up there. Look at that gold toilet. I gotta have it. I'm going to say something on the side because we need to laugh. I heard E. Jean Carroll made a tweet or a Twitter, what do you call it, whatever it's called now. She said she was talking about her lawyer. Her name is Kaplan, Bobby Kaplan or something. I forget. But she said, my lawyer, she's so strong, she could get up. If she needed to, she could make it up to that penthouse to Donald Trump's suite and get that gold toilet and throw it right out the window. She's strong enough to do that.
I love that.
That just struck me as so hilarious, such a hilarious idea. But anyway, the point being, excuse me, where's his chart? Number 8. Here we are.
Whoops, sorry.
There it is. So we have Neptune and Jupiter and Chiron all in the house of money, showing lots of excess. Jupiter is the planet of excess, good fortune. He's been lucky, good fortune, but there's something kind of sick in there. and there's some element of deception. And the lunar eclipse is happening right there. This is the spot where the moon is occurring in a same degree as Neptune, in 5 degrees, right there on the outside. So when you get your transit chart, it's going to have your chart on the middle, just like Donald's is here, with the planetary the planets on the second wheel on the outside chart. So you'll see the moon over something of yours, and you say, oh, that's over Mars. I have aggressive tendencies toward, it's in my 6th house. Maybe I'm feeling aggressive at work. I'm feeling angry and fighting with people at work, or maybe, you'll see from the outside of your chart that you get, if you've asked me for it, if you have one, you can figure it out. Now you can at least figure out the basics of this. So so the chart you're going to get is going to look like, I think this is Corina. You weren't here when we were talking about you, but this was yours. This is a transit chart for you, and this is showing the moon in 5 degrees of Libra in yellow, and your planets are inside the wheel, and the transit charts are on the outside. So inside that yellow thing is your natal chart, and on the outside is where the eclipse is happening. The moon over here and all the other stuff here. So that's how it looks. So do we have a winner, Deborah? Did anyone win the contest?
What number are we looking at?
We're looking at number 2, money.
Wait a minute. I got to make sure that, number 2. Here is one winner. Let me see if there's another winner. Then we'd have to have a chart off.
No, if the rule was the first person to get
number 2. Sorry, Mary. Mary got right. Thornberry. Cynthia. So yes, Julie V1112. What you need to do, if I could make a poem out of that. No, I won't put you through it. Email Lalit at astrology vibrations with an S at gmail.com. I will put it up there in my banner. And now this generous offer, wait a minute, let me finish up with Julie. So what is the prize? Julie. Okay. What is the prize for our Julie?
Well, Julie is getting a mini reading. The mini readings are officially 15 minutes long, but if we're still talking, we can go a little bit longer. And I liked it if you wanted to have a general interpretation of your chart because you didn't have specific questions, we can do that. But generally, the mini reading will focus on 1 or 2 particular questions you have. So you can, if you want to ask me a couple of questions, or if you want to just say, what the heck is going on with me? I'm feeling this and this and this. Then we could go about that. And so that's a mini reading. And anybody, so if you wanted a mini reading like that, it's $40. And I have a half price special for full readings, which are 90 minutes. And they're really extensive. I mean, they're not like the printed things that I send you. Those are just the basic information of your horoscope. But a reading is a different thing. You'd be surprised. So if I have time this week and next week if anybody wants to sign up. So Julie, send me your info and I'll send you some and send me some possible times that are good for you. If you want to send me a couple ideas about times, I'll say yes or no. I'm West Coast Pacific time. So
I have a ghost in my house. My printer just went off again. I wonder what it's going to print. A message.
Wow. Okay,
That's me
so
being in that one big house. That's
now
what it
there's
is.
some good news. Everybody's a winner because this work that you just did about looking at the houses and what they mean will be also true for the big solar eclipse that's coming. And then a total solar eclipse occurs when the sun and moon are in the same place. So the moon's going to move around real fast in the next couple of weeks and get all the way over to let me show you how it's going to look, because I have it on a picture here. It's going to get all the way over to Aries, and then everything is going to be bunched up in one spot, and it's going to be just totally how come it's
Sorry.
how come it's not moving down? I had it set in the middle. There it is. Well, you can see that the moon for the where we are now in the lunar eclipse, the moon's over here in Libra. In a couple of weeks, it goes all the way around, keeps going all the way around till it gets to the sun, and they're both in exactly the same degree. So it is I have the time on there, but I can't see it, just a little bit small. I also have it over here on my other thing. Okay. So here, so that's how it's going to look. So it looks very similar to the chart we've already been looking at for our eclipse now, because the big planets are in the same place. Mercury's still in Aries, but so is the moon. So everything is bunched up in Aries. We have Pluto is always in Aquarius here, and it's making a hard aspect to our eclipse. It's a hard aspect. That means some real in-depth trouble and problems to all this stuff in Aries. It is really rough. It's going to be really rough. It's going to be a humdinger. So if you take what we're doing now and multiply it by about a gazillion, it's going to be a lot of stuff. Mars is conjunct Saturn in Pisces. Jupiter is conjunct Uranus in Taurus, and then everything else is in Aries. And we're going to talk about, this is our discussion next week. Now, I've written down the time of the solar eclipse so you can see it right here. I wrote it so you can see it. Solar eclipse, April 8th, in 19 degrees of Aries, and 24 minutes. And here are some times for Eastern or Pacific. Karina, I couldn't wriggle my brain out to do it for Sydney. I did the other one. So it's 11. It's anyway. Well, I'll tell you that next week in case you're wondering about the time. It'll probably be on April 9th for you, I'm imagining. But I'm not sure, being that you're in the future. So, we'll be talking about that next time, and you can look in your email. Everybody who has requested a chart from me will get the extra added materials of the houses and house positions, plus your exact location of where you're to look on your chart for your house position, and also an interpretation of those transits for a whole month. Your bonus. So everyone's going to get that. So by tomorrow night, that'll be done.
And then that's it. This offer quits.
Well, new people can ask. As long as new people ask by Sunday at noon, that would be, what is the date? Sunday the 24th at noon, I'll send it to everybody, all of that.
Okay.
And after that, I won't be sending out lunar eclipse stuff because the lunar eclipse will already be gone. And then I will continue the offer for solar eclipse. So all of you will make a new offer for the solar eclipse. Cool. Okay, because this is big one, and it happens. We have these two now. Then we're going to get two more in September. But this is the crux of it. This is the ship is righting itself and pointing. Once the ship gets going in that direction, it's going to have inertia and momentum, and there will be no stopping it. And if you remember a few weeks ago, I was just talking to Debra about this. She said she called me just before class and was so distraught because there had been terrible decisions by the courts that all went against the Democrats. And I said, don't worry, don't worry. March 25th is coming up. Donald Trump is going to hit the dust in the money department. It's going to destroy him. Don't worry. It's all going to be fine. And notice the momentum has changed. The Democrats are now on the offensive. Things are moving. The snowball has started to move, and it's gathering momentum and getting bigger and bigger. So don't you worry. This is just the beginning.
I love that. Don't you worry.
Don't you worry. And there's going to be, I noticed some time ago, and I'm sorry I don't even remember now what day it was, but the Republican convention is on a specific day. I looked at the aspects of that day. I don't remember what day it was.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it because I remember looking at that and I say, oh, these guys are all toast. Just forget it's going to be a nuclear bomb in their convention.
Oh boy.
So we'll have a lot of fun. So I hope this gives everybody food for thought.
I've got one comment here that is, I don't know if it's about the sun or the moon or whatever, but we've got a really smart lady here named Leah, and she wanted to know about a water trine and kite. The point of and of whatever is Virgo top. It's a foreign language for me.
Okay,
but I do.
So you're talking about a kite formation in your natal chart?
Leah, you're on.
Leah, are you talking about, I don't see the comments because they're so.
Oh, you don't?
My half of my screen is, I don't see it.
Oh, okay. It says.
So if you're talking about your natal chart and you want to discuss a kite formation in particular in your natal chart, send me your birth info and I'll draw up your chart and then I will use it as an example next time because it's a good thing to do because so far we've just talked about house positions and not about the angular relationships with planets. We sort of have an unusual thing in this eclipse because everything's on one side bunched together. So there aren't things like kite formation. Okay, so
email her and then.
Okay, I see. Now, water trine and kite. The point. I know the question went away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, well, a trine in water signs, and where's the point going to? I'll talk about the trine in water signs first. You are having.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, Virgo Pisces. Okay, so this would be the axis of Virgo to Pisces, and since we have this little thing here, we can use it. She's talking about a trine that would be an angular formation that would go from the 12th house to the 6th house. Now we were just talking about this for the other lady from Canada, whose name I will not mention because she had the moon in this place. Now that is opposite. So you have the analytical, critical mind of Virgo with the intuitive, mediumistic mind of Pisces, and that can be a conflict. This can be a person like Suzanne Geisman. Suzanne Geisman is a lady that I go to for mediumship lessons, and she was the Virgo part. Very orderly, critical mind. Everything's organized and everything has hierarchical. She was in the military. She was second in command in the Pentagon on Air Force 2 in the tower stay. And then she had a death in the family and she swung to the other side. Now she's a professional medium. So that's the opposites of that axis. The other things that you're talking about in water, since we don't have, we'll relate it to this for other people. The trine goes to the signs that are of the same element. In this case, the element is water. Pisces is the water sign. We will go over to, from Pisces to Scorpio. From Scorpio, we're going to head down to Cancer and back to Pisces. That's a grand trine with water signs. Those are all very intuitive, all based on feeling and emotional plane. Sensitivity, intuitive, mediumship, etc. And the kite formation will bring it to Virgo. So this would be including the analytical mind to the person who, this would be Suzanne Giesemann, which is the perfect example of this kind of a horoscope. Someone who is intuitive, sensitive, can feel things on the spiritual plane, and yet is able to think critically, and an organizational skill. And so there's the focus being of the depth of spirituality. Pisces is the house of Christ, for example. It's the 12th house of real highest spirituality, to the ability to organize and critical thinking. And
one thing I want to do is book a reading with Leah. She sounds like a very good advisor if you swing that way with all that intuition.
So that is the basic thing of a kite formation. But that's only knowing the signs. You haven't told me the planets, so you consider the planets.
You could just email.
Yeah.
To get that. I do have we're running short on time, and I do have a couple of questions here.
Okay.
Can we do that? Because Dennis is asking, and then also I think it's Cynthia. Hold on. Will the Republican Party fall apart shortly after the solar eclipse?
No, it's going to take longer than that.
Like how long?
Okay, well, now we've had two sayings by doofus nitwit people, including Yogi Berra and Homer Simpson. Let's throw in Anthony Scaramucci. I heard him use this expression about the fall. I heard him say this a couple of years ago. The fish rots from the head.
Yes.
So that would be the head being Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Cut off. It will take some time for people to understand that what some people may never grasp it, but no, it won't happen right away.
So here's another one. When will America stop paying for Trimos therapy, salary, and Secret Service to him and his family?
Who is that?
I don't know.
Cynthia, sorry, I don't know.
We don't know that name. But if we,
listen, I will. I can look up that person on Google and see about his chart, what his future looks like.
Yeah,
and see what we can come up with that. And Debra, Debra is really good at answering questions on the fly.
I don't know whom I have a frame of reference. Oh, Donald Trump. When I said, who is Trimos, it says Donald Trump. It's code for Donald Trump.
It's code. Okay. Oh, this is to stay out of YouTube jail.
You're so cool.
Just stay out of YouTube jail.
YouTube. That's right. YouTube jail. Oh gosh.
Wasn't that funny? What Kimmel said? Jimmy Kimmel said, "Isn't it past your jail time?" When Donald Trump sent him that message at the Oscars.
So as a straight up yes or no, I have my Clarity Tarot deck out. And of course, you know that when I have a 5-card spread, it says yes or no. And then it also says why it's yes and why it's no. And the answer is no, they are not going to stop paying. I believe it's because of, even though it's going to overburden and kind of rub everyone the wrong way, he's going to demand it because that's all he's got left.
But he might not be around to collect it.
Yep. We got that too. Now I had Ness really
In that
quick.
case, we can dispute Melania's visa because she got in on an Einstein visa because she's so smart.
See, Ness knew it was Trump. I should have just read her. Everybody here knows it's Trump.
She's illegal. She's an illegal alien.
Oh my gosh.
Visa.
So yeah, isn't that funny? Everyone but us, Lalit.
Everyone.
We gotta study up on this cool jam.
We're too geeky.
So, Ness had a question, but she says it has 2 parts. Hi, Cynthia. Okay, but I don't have it. And you know what, Ness? I'm coming up on 1 hour. And oh, here, wait. She's right under. What should I expect? In middle of May, transiting Venus plus transiting Jupiter plus Sun.
Who is
less than a degree? It's less than a degree from my natal Venus in Taurus in the 8th as a Libra rising. Holy cow, that's a foreign language.
Ness, I don't believe. Have I done your chart? Because sometimes people give me emails and their name is different. And did I do your chart yet?
You know what? Here's the second part. I think maybe you need a one-on-one, or just send.
If I already did your chart, I could look at it. But I could. But if I haven't already done it, then send me that information and we'll take a look next time. Could you show me that question though a little bit longer?
Sure. The question, or the first part, is that
transiting Venus, Jupiter, and Sun, all at your natal Venus and Taurus in the 8th. Well,
and here's the second part.
On the best thing that could happen would be getting a big inheritance, but I have to look at the rest of your chart. You send me your information. That would be a good. That would come into some money. You could come into some money in a case like that, or some other form of abundance and happiness. It looks like a very good thing, but transformational. So if you send me your birth data, that's not enough to go on.
Yeah, but you know what's cool is that if you send your birth time, if you have it, and if you don't have it, say you don't have it, place and date and all of that stuff, send that information to Lalit, because she let it slip to me, and she's going to make sure she keeps all of it.
I have, if everyone that has asked me for their information, I have it in a special place. That's just this group. I call it the Inspire charts. That's why when you get your chart, it'll say Inspire Zachau, Debra. that is how I have one folder. And if you ask a question right now, like what's happening with me in May, I'll just go blink and I can look at it.
So here, S.R. Kish, I sent you an email with my birthday, location, and time. I am so interested in my job. It has taken far too long. It's over like a year. I'm puzzled with that, why things take so long. Everyone, I'm sorry.
JR.
S.R. Kish.
S.R. Kish.
K-I-S-H.
Were you one of the people in Linda's group, from Linda, the video that I
Linda G?
Linda G? Did you ask for it a long time ago and I didn't send it to you? I've done as I went, let me tell you, I worked on it day and night for several months, and I got COVID and I sort of had to take a break because I couldn't do it anymore. And I had 500 requests.
Oh, hey, guess what?
Still have.
She's brand new. Thank you so much.
Thank goodness. I still have a few from Linda G that are weighing on my soul. That's my 10th house. How I'm relating to other people. I think about it every day because there's people that I promised I'd do it and I have to do it. So I'm saying, I'm going to do it. I'm dedicating a little time each day to do it.
Yeah.
And okay, you did that today. No, I haven't seen it. I'll send it to you by tomorrow. Everyone's going to get their stuff by tomorrow, Pacific time. Everybody, guaranteed. I'll just work till it's done. Swear to God. You got my word. You know,
The thing is that
I'm gonna do it.
Everyone knows the pressure we are all on. We get excited, we give away things, and all of a sudden there's 1,000 people who deserve it. But it takes us a while.
Date, time, and place. Date, time, and place. 3 things. Date, time, and place. If you don't know the time or you're not certain, please tell me.
SR Kish, do you have a website? It is Astrology Vibrations.
I'm going to get asthma attack. Debra knows the answer to that. I had a website, but it got taken down because I found out too late that I had to do an entire year to get my domain switched over. I had to pay for it a year in advance, and I didn't do that, and I didn't know that I had to. So it's not up right now, and I have to go through some blah, 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 and pay money and get it set up. And then I will have a website, but it's just in construction. So the answer is not yet.
That's okay. We'll wait for you. You're worth the wait.
I have, so no. So just send me an email with those pieces of information, and the website is not functioning right now.
But we're getting your YouTube channel up pretty soon. So we're going to start live streaming to there, and then she'll have the community page, so she can put all of that in there,
and the website. So, I'm doing it.
Oh, no pressure. No pressure. Okay, so she does need a cutoff time. She does need a cutoff time for that. So to keep it all healthy,
anybody that press a chart by Sunday at noon Pacific will get all this stuff.
Wow, and she has a cold, and she's going to do it anyway. When I have a little sniffle, I lay down. I don't want to rock the boat, but I'm the one with that big first house. So I have to lay down a lot.
I'd rather keep my mind on something else, so that's good.
God bless you. God bless you. And God bless everybody here coming in, spending time with us. And if you're not subscribed,
question for Debra. I forgot to ask my question. I got so discombobulated when I couldn't sign in today to StreamYard. I forgot everything I was going to do. I wanted to ask Debra a question. This is all 7. This eclipse is a 7th house matter about relationships and how you see people that are important in your life. And I wanted to know from a numerological standpoint about the number 7.
The 7 in spiritual terms is the veil is very thin. You'll be able to read minds or think you can read minds, that kind of thing, but you have to be careful because you need to be quite honest with your choices. So if you have the least bit hesitation to something, you need to consider letting it go. But it's a very, very close to the other side. And so I guess you're going to double the fun in that. So, but that's a short and sweet answer. There's far more to it. But you can get in trouble with the 7. And how you get into trouble with the 7 is not being honest, either with yourself, red flags, all that stuff, because life is a harsh teacher under a 7. We all have open eyes and open hearts, so we're going to be fine.
And this brings us back to the thing we started saying at the beginning, which is the eclipse is transformative. It has to do with your destiny and your life path. It is not necessarily a bad thing. Donald Trump has made such negative choices in his life of being deceitful and lying all the time that he's faced with a conundrum that's not positive. But if you're on a spiritual path, an eclipse can open doorways that are really divine, because we're going to be progressing to a new level of awareness through this. Mm-hmm. And there are those people who will jump to a new level of awareness, and there are those people who are going to be left behind and they're not going to get it. And this ties in with the people in the GOP. Not everyone is going to see the light. But guess
you know what? That's exactly.
They won't be part of our world anymore.
Right, exactly. Have you been listening to Vincent Todd Tolman, Vinnie Tolman? I re-interviewed him. Please listen to the video I already made about him. He was like a death experiencer. He was in the body bag, cold, purple, dead for an hour, and came back. He has been doing some predictions lately because he's just opened himself up to counseling, to answer questions. And what he said, you just said, people will be left behind, and then they'll be struggling. So
they'll go on with their own thing, and that's what they can choose for themselves. And there's no amount of you can help people by opening communication and explaining things, but if they don't want to see it, you can't make them.
Right. Thank you all for your support. As mentioned earlier, I demonetized today. This is my first day of new beginnings, so nobody has to sludge through any commercials. Supporting me would be great, and that is to like and subscribe and comment. And believe me, and also share, but I do read every single comment. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. I'm having a wonderful time here on YouTube, especially with Lalit, every Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific. So with that, I am going to dance off the stage. God bless everybody. You take it easy. Know that you are supported. We are here to support you, and everything's going to be fine. Just be the observer instead of the victim, and you'll get through the day. Then call us. We'll help you through. God bless you all. Bye.